Hello everyone, my name is Jaden McKenzie. I'm the Summer Student Assistant for the Department of Engineering at Dalhousie's Faculty of Agriculture. So after you accept your offer to come to Dalhousie, the next big step is registering for your courses. Now this can be very scary to think about. So I thought I'd pop on here, make this quick video teaching you how to register for your courses to hopefully alleviate some stress and some concerns you may have. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first step is to accept your offer of admission by paying your $200 admission deposit. This is a non-refundable deposit, but does get credited towards your tuition. So if you've already done this, feel free to skip ahead. If not, stick around, I'll show you how to do it. So our first step, we'll head over to dal.ca/congratulations to bring you to this page here, and from there, we can just click accept your offer. Clicking this will bring us to Dal Online, where we need to enter in our Dalhousie ID, which is the number on the top of your acceptance letter, so B00 and then a string of 6 other numbers. Enter that in, then your surname or last name, then your given name, so your first and middle, also your date of birth. So I'm going to fill this in, and I'll pick back up once I've done this. So once I entered in all that information, it brought me to this page. So now we can just enter in our fee category, which will be the Faculty of Agriculture payments, so we'll click on that. Then we're going to click on our fee type, which will be the admission deposit for the Diploma in Engineering. Click on that. Our applicable term will be 2021-2022 fall, and we're going to click Submit Fee. From here, the website will tell you what to do to process the fee. So move on to the next step in a few seconds. After paying the $200 admission deposit, the next step is to activate our Net ID. So we're going to head over to password.dal.ca. Once we get here, we're going to click on our Activate My Net ID option. And then we're going to click on No, I do not know my Net ID. And it'll ask you for your Dalhousie ID again, so your B00 and then 6 other numbers. So you're going to enter that in. And then once you hit next step, it'll ask for your date of birth. And again, when you press next step from there, the website will tell you what to do on how to activate your Net ID and also create a password for it. Unfortunately, I've already done this last year, so I can't show you again. But just listen to the website and you'll be fine. After activating our Net ID and creating a password with it, our next step is to log on to Dal Online. So we're just going to use our Net ID and the password we just created. So we'll fill those in, then we'll click Login. From there, we'll head to Web for Students, then Registration, and we'll click on Prepare for Registration. This brings us to a new tab, where again, we're going to click on Prepare for Registration, and then we're going to select the Fall 2021-2022 term. We'll click Continue, and all we're looking for here is just green check marks. So all green check marks mean you're good to go, you're ready to register. You just have to wait for your ticket time, which for first year students is Saturday, June 12th, starting at 10 a.m. If you have any red X's on the screen, that means there's an additional step you need to do before you're able to register for courses. So the website will tell you what you need to do. If you have any further questions, feel free to email your academic advisor. So now we can look and see what courses we need to take in our first year. The first step in figuring out what courses we need to take is head over to dal.ca. From there, we're going to click on the Academics tab, and we'll scroll down and find Academic Calendars. Then we'll click on Undergraduate, and since we're in the Faculty of Agriculture, we'll click on Agriculture. From there, we need to find our program, which is Diploma in Engineering, so we'll click on that. And these 12 courses listed here are the 12 courses you need to take in your first year. 6 in the fall, and then 6 in the winter. So since you sign up for fall semester and then winter semester, I suggest writing down all your fall courses, skipping some space, and then writing down your winter courses. So once you have these all written down, we can move on to our next step. So these next few steps I'm going to go over are completely optional, but it'll make course registration so much easier. So what we're going to do first is over again to Dal.ca, and instead we're going to go on Campus Life. From there we're going to go on Academic Support, and then we're going to select Register for Classes, and finally the Course Planning Worksheets. So we're going to download one of these. And these are just so you can plan out all your courses by time and date so you don't get any overlap. If you do the other method by not doing this, you're going to get some overlap and it's going to take you a lot longer to register for courses than someone who uses this method. So this is our first step, download this worksheet, print it out, and then we can move on to the next step. After opening up the course planning worksheet, our next step will be to head back over to dal.ca under the Academics tab. Once we get here, we're going to click on Academic Timetable. Then we're going to click on the bolded academic timetable at the top. This will bring us back to Dal Online. From here, we want to be sure we select the term of 2021-2022 fall and winter, at Churro and online. We're going to press submit. This will bring up a list of different categories of courses offered at Dal AC and online. So when we select these categories, we want to be sure we select the ones that say Agri-Campus, Agricultural Campus, or something to that effect, because these are the ones that are offered at Dal AC. So for example, if I'm looking for the engineering courses, I'll choose Engineering at the Agri-Campus. I'll click on that. This will bring up a list of all different engineering courses offered at Dal AC over the fall and winter terms. So once we get to here, we can look at our academic calendar, see what course we need in the fall. So we see we need ENGN 1001 or Engineering Design 1, ENGN 1002 or Engineering 1, and ENGN 1006 or Technical Communications and Professional Engineering. So the ENGN and the number is just the course code. It's the easy reference for the course, so you don't have to say the whole name every time. So once we get to this, we can then start filling out our planning page. So for example, I'll choose to look at TechCom. So first look at the lecture. I see it's available on Mondays and Wednesdays from 1:05 until 2:25. So this is the time for it. So I can go over my course planning page. So it starts at 1:05 on Monday. So I'll put in the course code, so ENGN 1006. And it was done at 2:25. Each of these blocks is half an hour. So it'll be done here. I'll just put an exclamation point to indicate that it's over. And I can replicate the same thing on Wednesday here. And then once I have both of these in, I can head down to the bottom, again write in the course, so ENGN 1006, and we need to find the lecture CRN or course reference number. So the CRN is what you're actually going to use to register for your courses, so you need to be sure this is as correct as it can be. It can be found in this column, so for TechCom, it's 11130. So fill that in, 11130. And from there, every class you're going to take will either have a lab or a tutorial. So we need to find the CRN for that as well. In TechCom's case, it has a tutorial. It's offered on Tuesdays from 12:35 until 2:25. So again, using this information, we can fill it in. So Tuesday, 12:35, 1006, and it's done at the same time as the lectures are done. So we're going to write an exclamation point here, and we can go back and find our course reference number. So 11131. 11131, and then, I put it in the lab section. Be sure to put it in the right section. So in the tutorial, there we go. So this is one course done. Now we just have to do the same thing for our other 5 courses. If you run into any time conflicts, you're gonna have to try to readjust, reschedule what you're gonna take. So this might be taking a different lab or a different lecture time, depending on the circumstance. One thing I would recommend though is to always register for all of your lectures first, just because most courses only have one lecture section, as seen with all these different engineering courses. This will just mean that you have less interrupting and adjusting to do. Other than that, you can just go ahead and keep filling out your course planning page, the other 5 courses. Make sure to gather all the course reference numbers you need for fall and winter. And if you run into any time conflicts, just readjust. Other than that, we're ready to move on to the next step. So I just wanted to give a few more tips for filling out your course planning page. So for example, we look at Introductory Calculus 1 or MTHA 1000. We see that there's a note that's telling us engineering students to please register for lecture 1 and tutorial 3 or 6. This means we have to register for the lecture 1 and we have a choice between tutorial 3 or 6. We can't take 4 or 5. This is because these schedulers already know there's going to be a conflict if we take 4 or 5, so they're just trying to avoid that headache for us. So whenever you see a note like this, be sure to follow it. It's in your best interest. Another tip is that you have to take the lecture component for the course, but then you have a choice on what tutorial you take. You only take one tutorial or one laboratory, depending on what the course has, not multiple. So going back to our Introductory Calculus example, we have to take the lecture 1, and we have a choice between a tutorial 3 or a tutorial 6. We don't have to take both. Actually, we can't take both. So again, you just have the choice whether you want the Friday tutorial or the Tuesday tutorial. This holds same for the rest of your courses. And we'll look at one final tip. So we'll go on to the chemistry section. And so you can see when we're looking at the labs for General Chemistry 1, we see that there's an R by this one. This means it's restricted to certain students. We'll click on that. And we see that this one is restricted for Diploma in Engineering students. This means that Diploma in Engineering students have to register for this one because it's the only lab that fits in your schedule. So we have to pick our Wednesday lab from 2:30 until 5:30. So this is a quick tip, just so you don't get stuck in the wrong lab. Now that these tips are out of the way, we can move on to how to actually register for your courses. Our next step in registering for courses is heading back to the tab that we checked our registration status. This time we're going to click register for classes. Then we're going to select our fall 2021-2022 term, because we always register for fall before winter. We'll click continue. And once we get to this point, this is where the two different methods I talked about comes into play. So first I'll talk about the method for the people that follow along the video and collect all the course reference numbers, and then I'll talk about the alternative method for those who didn't. All of your hard work in gathering the course reference numbers is going to make this process a whole lot easier. So first things first, I'm just going to click this arrow on the right, just to make the screen a little nicer to look at. So all I have to do is just enter in all the CRNs that you collected. So as our examples, we did TechCom, so the lecture is 11130, the tutorial is 11131, and then just as examples we have a lab in there as well. I'll do a chemistry lab, which is 10478. So you can see that as we add them in, the courses pop up on the right. So our first code was the lecture for TechCom, and this is noted by obviously the name of the course, but also an 01, which means lecture. And then our second one was the tutorial for TechCom. So we have the name of the course and TL1, which means tutorial. And finally, we have our chemistry lab, so we have the name of the course, and then B03. The B means lab. So we're just going to do this for all of our courses in the fall semester. And once we're all done this, we're going to press add the summary. So it'll pop up down here. And then just so we can see better, I'll press this arrow. So you can see these are all pending. And this just gives you just one last chance to look at your courses, make sure you entered in the right ones. So for every course, you just have a lecture and also a tutorial or laboratory, depending on the course. So once we're sure of this, all I have to do is press submit. And once you submit and everything works, it's going to pop up as registered, as you can see for all my courses. And the website will also build you a schedule, just so you know that what you built in the course planning page is what you actually signed up for. And if you made a mistake, all you have to do is go under action, remove, and then once you do that, once you press submit, it'll remove them all. So once you do this for the fall and you're happy with everything you did, you can then just make sure it's all saved, you're all registered for everything, and then just go back to select a term. And then we're going to move on to our winter. So we'll go on to winter. And we just go through the same process. So go back to enter CRNs, enter our CRNs, add summary, submit, you're done. Simple as that. All the hard work we did coming up to this, made this very simple. Took less than 10 minutes. And just make sure again, double check your schedule, make sure it was everything you thought it would be. After that, you're done. You're registered for all of your courses. Congratulations. This huge step in your first year of university is out of the way. I know this has been a nerve-wracking experience leading up. I hope this video helps to make it a little less stressful. I hope you all enjoyed the video. That's all for now.